On the 5th day, he started filming in his storage unit. Dude, I'm paying for this every month. All my stuff is in here, and I think I'm allowed to do. They say you're not allowed to open any businesses in the storage unit. And this isn't a business, this is a hobby. I wish it was a business. But who knows? Maybe by the time this becomes a business, I'll be in better spots, you know? Enough talk of that. It's a very wintry vibe today. It's in Utah though, which means that it's actually still hot and there's just gray. Not even gray, it just sucks. Winter here sucks. But it is nostalgic because whether I like it or not, every winter I've ever had has been in Utah. I've been very contemplative today. I'm very nostalgic this time of year in winter. And it's been this year's a little different. One of the reasons I've been nostalgic, or that I get nostalgic during the winter time, is because of seeing friends and family. You know, I've had a friend who's been my best friend since children. I'm a year older than him, and I've known him literally since he's been alive. Like, our parents were friends in high school. And this time around, I'm not seeing him as much. He was the friend I used to live with. And things ended kind of weird with that. But I don't know, I was driving around in the gloom today. Like, I had stuff I wanted to do today, but more importantly than that, I have learned the value of doing things. Setting time aside for yourself. And pursuing goals. The urge today to sleep in was high. And usually, on days when I work, I sleep in till 20 minutes before I have to go to work. Then I go to work, because it takes me about 20 minutes to go to work. And that is not good. I will hate having to go to work till the day I die. Having to go to work sucks. But it's part of life. Whether or not I like going to work, whether or not I believe working should be a thing that we have to do, or at least not to the degree that we do it. Because I believe you should contribute to society and be a part of your community and give back and be productive somehow. I really do believe that. But I don't believe that we have to grind away as much as we're all grinding away for the amount of pay that we're getting to barely survive, because life is just work. And if the future just holds more of this work, because guess what? Eventually, someday, contrary to popular belief, I will beat Skyrim. You can only replay Bloodborne. Someday I'll do a Blood Level 1 run on Bloodborne. You can only replay Jedi Academy so many times. Eventually things run out. And you can only survive, I feel like, for so long before you have to start thinking about why you're surviving. Right now I have reasons to survive for, right? I'm surviving with a slight hope that eventually, going through all the stuff, all the hard stuff, and just how kind of miserable life is right now, eventually that'll pay off, Work hard through your 20s, and in your 30s you'll get a dream job, or at least an easy job. If you suffer through right now, then eventually you'll do your dreams. These kinds of promises are the promises that are, keeping a lot of us going, probably all of us, is the promise of things getting better, whether that's achieving a dream, getting just a cush job, which is fine. No judgment here. You can only hold on to those things for so long until you have to start thinking, all right, how much of this is me gaslighting myself into surviving, and how much of this is actually me believing something can happen? I feel very blessed because this trip I went on, it gave me the perspective I needed to look back on my life, see what, just see it. I reached a point where I really truly believe that my dreams don't have to be dreams, and that I'm capable of achieving those dreams. Which ties back into what I was saying before, where today I woke up early because I actually have the fire and the passion to do this thing and to make ends meet no matter what I have to do to do that. Scraping by is worth it if it means I can do what I want, and being able to do what I want presses forward my hope that eventually I'll be able to step out of where I'm at right now and be living a life where I can look and say, this is the life I made for myself because it's what I wanted, and I'm not surviving, I'm living. That sounds awesome. Waking up early isn't a struggle now because there's a purpose. Going around and doing stuff isn't a struggle because there's a purpose, and it feels great. So how does this tie into the whole nostalgic and driving out in the winter time and your friend? It doesn't. I was rambling. But to get back to that point, because I did want to talk about that too. Winter, it's just interesting. Winter. I like it a lot because everything's dead. You know, like everyone's like, spring is the renewal of life and summer is flourishing, whatever. I like winter in that regard because winter is just, everything's dead. You know, everything's peaceful, it's quiet. I like it. That wasn't nearly as profound as I thought it was going to be in my head. I don't know. I think what I'm trying to say, winter is just a good time to reflect. Kind of examine where you're at, where you're going. You know, this thing with my friend that I used to live with is rough. Yeah, I think I'll just end that thought there because I'm really not trying to ramble myself into a spot where I don't know what I'm talking about. No segue at all, we're just gonna jump into it. Today's my first day of work since I left on my trip. I'm very stressed about it to the point where like I was like hunched over because I felt like I was going to throw up. You know, things are in the works. I could potentially be responsible for a car, which is the best way to say that. I won't own it, but I'll be holding on to it for a friend until he can own it. And that's exciting. If I can have a car, that kind of opens up my possibilities to other places I can work. Job skipping and hopping around isn't very fun and not professional. And I think I work at a place for about a year before I quit. It's been a little under a year at this job I'm at right now, but this job is horrible and the turnover is like a month. So I've already stayed far longer than I feel satisfied with. In fact, one of the jobs I want right now, it's not a dream job, but it's a nice job because you can work from home. And there's just a lot of benefits that make your life, integration between your life and this better. And you know, my dad is working that job right now, and he started off at the call center. So you know, things are coming together. I'm really trying to ride this wave of revived hope and determination for the future for myself right now. You know, I think everyone should. I think it's a good idea to put yourself in spots where you can reflect in such a way where you walk away feeling like I want more for myself and I believe I can have more for myself. And at least how I feel right now, and for what I've heard from other people, is the way that you do that, or being able to do that, is just a super powerful tool that is profound and will put you far. That's definitely how I feel right now. I'm excited about the idea of crafting this future for myself. All right, well, I think that's it. I'm gonna go and start editing some videos, which is exciting, you know? Spend the day being productive in my dream fields. Let the passion burn. I'm really good at rambling. I can talk about nothing for a long time. All right, well, goodbye guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.